Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Look, if you're a brand new cat owner, I'm guessing you're probably running on fumes right now. A lot of coffee and sheer willpower, right? I see you. And as a vet, I know exactly how exhausted you are. You probably thought bringing a sweet little kitten home meant peaceful, cozy evenings. And then, well, you quickly realized you've adopted a highly active, nocturnal little predator. So today, we're going to put on our veterinary hats, sit down for a consultation, and dig into the really fascinating biology behind those late-night feline visits. We're going to decode exactly what your cat is trying to tell you when the lights go out. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's consultation. We'll start with the midnight diagnosis, look at feline instincts and biology, and then check out the thermal heat map. After that, we'll uncover why they need you, tackle Breaking the Dawn campaign, and finally, wrap up with your better sleep action plan. Section 1. The midnight diagnosis. Your cat's nocturnal symptoms. So picture this. It's that exact moment the house goes completely quiet, you're finally drifting off to sleep, and suddenly you become a literal feline jungle gym. I have to ask you directly, why are you their 3 a.m. landing pad? Have you ever actually wondered why, out of all the perfectly good places to walk in your bedroom, your cat specifically chooses to step right on your chest, your throat, or even your face right in the middle of the night? Well, the short answer, they are running a survival check. See, during the day, your cat uses visual cues to know you're okay. You talk, you walk around, you react to things. But when the house goes completely dark, from your cat's perspective, you've basically gone offline. Those super specific spots they step on, your chest, your throat, your face, those are the exact places where your breathing is the most obvious. Out in the wild, sleeping next to a companion animal that suddenly stops moving is a very serious threat. So when your cat steps on your chest to feel it rise, or gets right up near your face to catch the warmth of your breath, they're really just confirming one simple thing. You are still alive. Moving on to Section 2, Feline Instincts and Biology, the Science of the Night. Now, when your cat jolts you awake, I know it's incredibly easy to feel annoyed. But it's crucial for us to reframe this. What feels like a massive disruption to you is actually just pure biological instinct at work. Think about when they pace back and forth across your legs. Essentially, they're saying, this one's mine. Your cat has these little scent glands located right inside their paw pads. Every single step they take on your skin or your blankets leaves a chemical signature. You can't smell it, but it absolutely screams ownership to any other animal in the house. During the day, you take a shower, you go outside, you interact with the world, and you basically erase your cat's scent. So every single night, they have to reset it. Actually, a study from the University of Lincoln found that cats in multi-pet households do this significantly more often. When there's competition, scent marking becomes a super urgent priority. So they aren't trying to annoy you. They're literally just renewing the lease. Now, what's really interesting about this next bit is this massive number, 64,000. That is the frequency, measured in hertz, that a cat can hear up to. Let's put that into perspective. Human hearing taps out at around 20,000 hertz, but feline hearing reaches a staggering 64,000 hertz. That means your cat is picking up on a whole universe of sound that literally does not exist to you. A pipe shifting behind your bedroom wall, a raccoon stepping through the yard 2 houses over, or just the fridge compressor kicking on in the kitchen. You sleep soundly right through all of it, but your cat definitely doesn't. According to a study published in the journal Animal Cognition, cats can distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar sounds even while they're in a resting state. And when they hear something alarming, their first instinct isn't to hide. It's to seek out the safest, most elevated surface in the room to assess the situation. And at night, the highest, safest, most familiar thing in the room is you. Which brings us to Section 3, the thermal heat map, seeking the core. To your cat, you aren't just a comfortable bed. You are a walking, breathing, biological space heater. The absolutely crucial thing to remember here is that a cat's resting body temperature sits between 38 and 39 degrees Celsius. That's a good couple of degrees higher than yours. Because they run so hot, they burn through their body heat much faster, especially at night when the house cools down and there's no sunlight to soak up. So they go looking for the next best heat source. And that next best thing is you. You become incredibly valuable real estate to them, which is exactly why this clinging behavior always gets so much more intense in the cold winter months. The temperature gap between the chilly house and their warm body just gets too big. But notice how they never just plop down immediately. They follow a very specific routine. First, they might pause on your legs. Then they kind of shift up to your stomach. Finally, they settle right on your chest. This isn't just random wandering in the dark. Your cat is actually creating a thermal map. They're using the sensitive pads of their paws to physically step across different zones of your body, comparing temperatures to locate the exact spot where your core generates the most heat. Once they find the ultimate hotspot, which is usually your chest or your lap, they finally settle down. All right, Section 4, Why They Need You, the emotional bond. Let's shift gears for a second from clinical biology to the deep emotional connection you share with your pet. Because beyond the body heat and the survival checks, there is a profound, emotionally powerful reason they visit you in the dark. I'm sure you've seen this behavior before. We affectionately call it making biscuits, that slow, rhythmic pushing of a cat's paws in and out against a soft surface. When your cat does this on you at night, they're actually replaying the closest thing they have to a childhood memory. When kittens are newly born, they instinctively knead against their mother's belly to stimulate milk flow. It's literally one of the very first things they ever learn to do, and that behavior stays hardwired into them for their entire life. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate compliment a cat can give you. When they climb up on top of you in the middle of the night and start kneading your chest, it signifies deep trust and comfort. In that moment, your warmth, your breathing, and your heartbeat all combined to make you the safest place they've ever known. To your cat, you feel like mom. Let's move to Section 5, Breaking the Dawn Campaign, Surviving the Early Wake-Ups. As beautiful as that bond is, we really need to address those intentional, highly persistent, attention-seeking wake-ups that absolutely plague new cat owners. You know the ones I mean. The loud purring in your ear, batting at your hand, or just sitting directly on your face until you physically cannot ignore them. And it almost always happens right around 5 a.m. Why? Because cats are crepuscular. That means their bodies are biologically wired to be most active at dawn and at dusk. So while you are deep in your best, most restorative sleep at 5 a.m., your cat is entering their biological prime time. They're fully energized, totally alert, and they have an agenda. That agenda usually falls into one of two categories: anticipating food or boredom from leftover energy. If your cat hasn't burned off enough energy during the day, that leftover fuel kicks in right when you're resting, and they go bother the one creature in the house that can fix it. But here is the harsh veterinarian reality check. If you get up to feed them or play with them just to get them to stop, you are not solving the problem. You are actively rewarding bad behavior. You're training them that walking on your face at 5 a.m. gets results. And once that connection clicks in a cat's brain, good luck unclicking it. And they are absolute master schedulers. A study from the University of Zurich proved that cats have internal clocks so accurate they can anticipate their feeding time down to a 15-minute window. So if their breakfast is typically at 6 a.m. and they begin their whole campaign to wake you up exactly at 5:45 a.m., that is definitely not a coincidence. That is pure feline planning. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 6. Better Sleep Action Plan, your evening checklist. It's time to take all this biological insight and turn it into a concrete treatment plan so you can finally get some rest. Here is your vet-approved evening routine to reduce feline restlessness and encourage calm sleep. First, you must redirect their hunting energy by ensuring they get plenty of stimulating daytime play to burn off that understimulated energy. Second, stick to a strict morning feeding time so their internal clock stays regulated. Third, and I know this is the hardest part, you must completely ignore that 5 a.m. attention-seeking behavior. Do not speak to them, do not pet them, don't even get out of bed. Definitively break the bad habit by refusing to react. Finally, prepare a warm sleeping alternative right there in your bedroom, like a heated pet bed, so they have another attractive thermal core to map out that isn't your chest. Which leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. Will you give in to the 5 a.m. campaign tomorrow, or will you start reclaiming your sleep tonight?
Just remember, your cat isn't trying to be a pest. They are acting on deep, ingrained instincts, checking your survival, marking their territory, scanning for body heat, and seeking the safety of their mother. Understanding their feline biology really is the first step to achieving peaceful harmony in your home. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay strong, stick to that routine, and get some sleep.